This is just a little instructional on how to use the inflatable neck traction device. As always, make sure this is appropriate for you. That can be determined by a physio doctor, but if you suspect you have a compressed cervical spine, this tool is one of my faves. So when you get this one specifically from TBC, when it comes, it's in this piece and the pump is separated. So step one, put them together. You gotta feed them through. If I can do this properly, it should hook in. Awesome. So once you've got that set up, you're gonna pop the collar around your neck. It's got 2 Velcro straps. And these just hook across to the other side. And don't choke yourself when you put it on, but you do want a fairly snug fit. Then, next step here, you're gonna make sure that the pump is to the open side. Right now it's not, so no air is going through. You're gonna open it all the way, and you're gonna start to pump. And as you pump, what is going to happen is this collar is going to elongate. And so as I pump, I'll explain a little bit about the purpose of this. So traction, the goal with traction is to elongate and create space in the joints between the vertebrae. So creating a bit more space in the discs, in the fluid, and to just, take some of the pressure off the structures in there. And so really, really good tool for people who have maybe a cervical disc herniation, a stenosis, arthritis, anything like that in there. So this is an awesome tool. So we'll keep pumping. And you can see that as I'm doing that, it is starting to get a little higher, but it's also starting to lose a bit of air here. So I'm actually just gonna tighten that up a little bit to stop the loss of air. The other thing you might find is that when if no air is getting through, and we'll talk about this here in a second, but little metal ball right in that little loop there, make sure it's not in the central tube because that will block any airflow in there. So I'll keep pumping away here. All right, so now my collar is relatively full. So what I want to do, I can feel a little bit of stretch, but I want to get this to the point where I feel a bit of stretch, but not too much. We don't want this to be uncomfortable, especially not the first time using it. So I'm gonna just inflate a little bit more until I feel that tension start to build, and feel free to adjust the straps in the front if you need to. So getting a fair amount of stretch here. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna fully lock this out so no more air can come out, and find the little bump right here, and I'm just gonna pop the little metal ball out and into the central tube, and that's gonna block the air entirely. So now you are welcome to hang out here upright with the collar on, or get yourself horizontal. I quite like being horizontal with the collar on because it takes gravity out of the equation. You can hang out here for like 5-10 minutes if you want to, but as little as about a minute's worth of having the collar on should be enough for you. So let's say I've done my 5 minutes, I've had a little meditation or whatnot. To get the air out, I'm gonna pop the little ball out of the central tube and back into the bump. Good. And I'm going to unlock the gauge here. Good. And there should be a fair amount of air starting to come. I can deflate. And I can just take the collar right off. So now, after having used the collar, what we've done is we've taken some of the tension out of the neck. So really important to activate some of the muscles of the neck afterwards. If we take any sort of tension out of a system, we want to provide it elsewhere in the nervous system. So to activate some of the muscles, quite a simple one to activate what we would call the deep neck flexors. You can pop a fist underneath the chin, tongue to the roof of the mouth, and just give yourself about 10 chin tucks here. Lots of other options for you. If you work with an NKT physiotherapist or active rehab coach or whoever else that might practice NKT or any sort of muscle testing, they'll be able to give you really specific exercises for that. However, in the meantime, let me know if you have any questions and how you like your collar. Enjoy.